We start off this half of the news with some health matters now. In Western Nigeria, the Ogun State Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency has embarked on a sensitization and awareness campaign program in a bid to prevent the outbreak of cholera and other waterborne diseases. Commissioner for Rural Development Olufemi Ilori-Oduntan, during the sensitization program in Surulere community in Abeokuta, North local government area of the state, said the awareness became necessary to checkmate the perennial challenge during the dry season, when water levels in wells drop, forcing residents to get water from unreliable sources. About 4 months ago, a cholera outbreak in the state affected over 200 and killed no fewer than 10. Joining me on the news to discuss this is the CEO of Spinex Medical Resources, Dr. Adekunle Abiona. Dr. Abiona, welcome to News Central Now. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
So what we see is that there's the reoccurring decimal, as we might say, of cholera outbreaks, particularly during the dry season. So let me start by asking, in the lead up to the dry season, what can be done to prevent the outbreak of cholera? What do we need to know?
Well, cholera is a waterborne disease. Cholera thrives when there is poor hygiene. So one thing that must be tackled leading up to this season is the mentality of the populace and also helping to sensitize them against the illness, encouraging them to keep water in safe places, make sure the water they use is clean, maybe they boil or they sieve as the case may be, and also to make sure that at the point when they want to use the toilet, that they use a proper toilet system, not a pit latrine, and not a bush system, and also hand washing is also a very key component of cholera prevention.
Mm. So given that we know it is dry season and the water levels in the wells drop, what sources are people going to when they're looking for their water resources? Where are they going to find the water that in some cases is leading to these outbreaks of cholera?
So, I mean, people tend to indulge in reusing water. They tend to reuse their water. They resort to using water that has been reserved for a very long time. And sometimes people go as far as going to rivers and streams to fetch water. And as you all know, these rivers might be rivers where a lot of people do their other businesses in these rivers and also in the streams. So those are the commonest other alternatives that people indulge in seasons like this.
So the situation and the conversation around cholera is not just about the water that people are looking to use in their everyday, for their everyday needs. It also involves cooking as well, because we've also seen cholera spread because of bad water used to cook. So what do we do in that regard? Because many people will think that boiling the water or heating it up to some degree is enough to kill whatever bacteria may be inside. Dr. Abiona, what do you think? What do you say to that?
Well, first thing to do, if in cases where you get water from unsure sources, the person has to boil the water and sieve that water first, before the person attempts to use it for any form of cooking or whatsoever. So that on its own can help to eliminate a large part of the bacteria going forward.
With the shortage of water supply quite imminent, some of the methods that people employ to ensure that they have safe drinking water, what could those methods be? I know there might be people watching us now who have reservoirs. I think that's something that's quite common among and around many African nations, people keeping water in case there's no water. But you've talked about the storage of water for a long time. So one, I'd like you to take on why that is an issue. And then, of course, what methods people can use in ensuring that they have safe drinking water.
So water on its own is a culture medium for some bacteria, and it's very important to know that apart from cholera, there are other waterborne diseases that can be contracted. But sticking to cholera now, when you save water in reservoir for a long period of time, and you want to use it to wash your clothes or to cook, I mean, washing can still be pardonable, but for to cook now, that water needs to be sieved at least if you have fetched the water when it was clean, the water needs to be sieved, and if possible, the water should be cooked again before being used. Also, as a matter of prevention, now it's important to state that in this period, when there is shortage of water, people tend to want to minimize the use of water, especially after doing their business of maybe using the toilets or stooling. Because the WC, the water system might not be very available. They might want to resort to other sources. So it is extremely important to let people know that they should still stick to their toilets. They should do proper hand washing and keep very safe hygienic techniques in this period.
So when we look at this sensitization that's happening, many people might wonder why we're getting the sensitization right as the situation is coming up. And it's not to say that cholera outbreaks can't happen in any other time. So do we really need government to wait to begin the sensitization until when the quote-unquote prime time is that we typically see cholera outbreaks? Or should this not be a continuous sensitization awareness campaign that we see throughout the year?
I believe cholera awareness should be something that should be all year round. It's unfortunate that we don't have a continuous process in terms of awareness, but I believe in many primary health centers where there are posters trying to alert mothers about the dangers of cholera and all that. So I think that on its own can serve as a continuous awareness, but the peak of at this time, the awareness coming at this time should try to also be sustained in other periods, not just limited to the dry season alone. Because, of course, as I said earlier, cholera can come at any time of the year.
Yeah. Dr. Adekunle Abiona, we'll leave it at that. The CEO of Spinex Medical Resources, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
All right.